We reject the two-tiered health system, which has been further entrenched by tax incentives for private hospitals on public land. In government, the Green Party will stop these tax incentives and stop the privatisation of our health service. In her right-wing ideological zeal, Mary Harney seems to believe that hospitals are like supermarkets, where you can shop around and get a luxury health service if you're rich, and if you're poor, you can get the yellow pack service. We would remind Mary Harney that the only similarity between supermarkets and our hospitals are the lines of trolleys. The A&E crisis will not be solved until the Minister for Health and Brendan Drum of the HSE recognise that we have a bed capacity problem. I spoke to a member of staff in St James's this week, and she told me that the patients are waiting in that hospital for up to 4 weeks for an operation because of a shortage of ICU beds. Not only is this deeply upsetting for patients, it is demoralising for the dedicated medical staff. In government, the Green Party will provide the 3,000 acute beds and the necessary step-down facilities which the government promised back in 2001. An increasing population means that we need more consultants, we need more GPs, and we need more nurses. And we need to be able to retain these nurses. Nurses are the backbone of our health service. The Green Party recognises their legitimate grievances, and we call on the government to engage fully with them. Nurses are overworked and undervalued, and they deserve and have our respect and our gratitude. Isn't it extraordinary that in the bad old days, when this country apparently had no money, we had clean hospitals, and now, when private contractors are paid to do this work, our hospitals are in a filthy condition? Yesterday, the Evening Herald printed this photograph, which first appeared on my website a number of weeks ago. It shows a room full of builder's material where a cystic fibrosis patient was placed. Mary Harney, this is not acceptable. The high rates of MRSA are not acceptable. Dealing with MRSA will be a priority for this party in government. We will ensure the highest hygiene and cleanliness in our hospitals, but more than that, we will introduce measures to ensure that there are proper curbs on antibiotic prescribing in general practice and in our hospitals. Prevention will always be better than cure. That's why we want to get the early years right, by investing in primary care and providing free primary care for the under-6s. We will implement the recommendations of the Task Force on Obesity. Let's get rid of the vending machines out of schools. Let's stop the advertising of junk food to kids. These sensible measures will save us money later on by preventing type 2 diabetes and heart disease. We will implement the recommendations of the Task Force on Alcohol, a problem which costs this country a staggering €2.65 billion every year. And let me say this on this very important sporting day. Alcohol and sport don't mix. We will introduce measures to stop the sponsorship of sporting events by the alcohol industry. Tackling obesity and the alcohol problem will save this country money. Other parties can tell you how they're going to spend your money. We'll tell you how we'll save it. I would ask Mary Harney to tell us how you can have a world-class health service, which she promised, if we continue to help the wealthy through further tax cuts. This election, my friends, has regrettably turned into a race to the bottom. The politics of the lowest common denominator are irresponsible. They insult our intelligence and demean us all. Remember, other parties promise you the sun, moon and stars, but only the Greens guarantee the earth. But we can't guarantee anything unless we're in government. We want to be in government. We see ourselves as a party of government. But we're also an unusual party, a party of conviction, a party with conviction politicians. Prospective coalition partners need to know this. If they're into power for power's sake, or if it's just about gimmicks and hype, then they should think again about knocking on our door. But if they're serious about providing a better society, then they will find in the Green Party dynamic people, dependable people, who want to provide this society with better leadership. My friends, I cannot bear the thought of another 5 years in opposition. In the early years of this party, we talked about changing the values of society, changing the mindset. We talked about the need for a paradigm shift. And sometimes when I look across at the government benches, I ask myself a deeply disturbing question. How would Dick Roche, Martin Cullen and Tom Parlin shift the paradigm? Possibly with the JCB. The Gombinism has to stop, my friends. It has to end. This is it. We have an unprecedented opportunity to change the society for the better. We have the policies, we have the people, but there can be no substitute for hard work. You can make it happen. You can end the nightmare of Planet Bertie. Radical, realistic, responsible, ready for government. This is it. This is the best chance we've ever had. The best is yet to come for this party. Thank you very much.
There we must leave our live coverage of the Green Party conference here in Salt Hill. The conference continues this afternoon with a wide range of motions, including some on democracy, domestic violence, transport, health and justice. But we'll return for live coverage of the party leader's speech on RTE1 television at 8:30 tonight. Until then, goodbye from Salt Hill.